So a couple of years ago, around the time I was around 14, 15 years old, I had a massive decision to make because I was about to give up one of my biggest hobbies, which used to be skateboarding at the time. This was the one thing that I couldn't go a day without doing back then. I was obsessed about it, right? But as I started to grow older and older, suddenly the judgment of other people started to really have an impact, right? You know how it is. People often tell you to just give up. What's the point of trying? You're never even gonna get good. And unfortunately, because I was a young little child, didn't even knew much, I listened to that. I listened to that advice, and unfortunately, I did end up giving up skateboarding. So I went on a search for something else, right? And it took me a while. It took me a little bit of time, but I soon found out that basketball is a pretty cool sport. And I started to really dial into it, right? I started to have so much fun doing it. And that's when I realized just how much potential I have. Just let me give you an example. Let me give you a little backstory, right? Beforehand, before I even started playing basketball, I didn't know anything. I could barely dribble the ball properly, right? And I can proudly say that in just 2 years, I've made some pretty good progress going from a guy who doesn't know anything about it to actually knowing how to play it, right? And I remember I had this small little goal for myself that I wanted to make it on my high school's basketball team. I didn't want to do it to prove anything to anybody. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can actually do it and that I can just prove all of these negative thoughts wrong. But what do you think happened even once I made it to the team? Since the very start, even when I wasn't even on the team, when I was just showing up to my school's practice, everybody was calling me names, right? As soon as I'd fuck up just one play, what are you doing? Typical everyday stuff, right? Nothing new. But one thing that didn't change was how I received these thoughts, how they were interpreted by my mind. And unfortunately, sometimes they would still find a way to creep in and still affect the way how I behave and perform on the court, right? And one story in particular, it's a story that I'll never forget. This is something that I'll always share as a lesson. I remember around June this year, I remember me and my friends, we gathered up and we entered this tournament, right? So in my region, there's like this basketball tournament where everybody gets their whole team, invites all their friends, right? They form a team and they go compete with other teams, right? So me and all my other friends, we bring up, we gather up a team, we show up, and the very first game we play, with pretty much all of our friends watching, we lost it by 50 points. I still somewhere have that screenshot. We scored 6 points the entire game, and I personally had like the worst record ever because I went 0 from 18 overall. 0 misses, 18 attempts. That's you don't have to know anything about basketball to just know how obscure that is. So yeah, that affected my confidence quite a bit, and I remember I genuinely contemplated giving up basketball. Same way I did with skateboarding. And one thing that I just didn't realize is that people are gonna talk anyway. Regardless of what you do, there'll always be somebody. There'll always be one person who's gonna have something completely contrary to say to what you want to do. Now it's up to you to listen to that person, but genuinely answer this question. Just use your logic here. Has listening to these people ever benefited you in any way? I mean, sure, I found out about basketball, which is nice, but I wanted to skate. When I was a younger guy, I just wanted to ride on my skateboard, right? And these people killed that passion for me. It wasn't even a specific person because there was so many of them just like calling me names, doing this, doing that. I mean, I won't lie to you, I wasn't the most quote unquote normal guy. I definitely stood out. I was rather considered as weird. And that kind of stayed in my mind, right? This constant search for acceptance from others that I didn't realize, regardless of what you do, there'll always be somebody who's going to try to drag you down. And if you're going to listen to what these guys have to say, your confidence will suffer because your confidence won't be based on your inner self. Rather, it'll be based on the validation of others. It'll be based on the external, not on what's going on here. In a weird way, you don't even belong to yourself. That sounded kind of weird, but what I mean by this is, in a weird way, you can't even be truly satisfied with yourself because you're constantly searching for the validation of others. What's the point? No, I didn't look at the script. Don't worry about that. The script's right over here. I'm not looking at it anyway. Yeet! I can throw it away. I don't need it. But one thing you need to realize. Confidence is not something that you strive for. Confidence is not something that you're supposed to level up to like in a video game. I give this example all the time because it's so significant and it fits with so many of these video titles. Confidence is something that you had from the start. But it's something that has been conditioned, something that has been restricted from its true potential. The way you achieve true confidence is not by trying to level it up and doing your little top 5 ways to improve your confidence. It's by diving deep as these restrictions that you hold on to and getting rid of them. Imagine this example. Imagine that you are chained to a wall. You know how in prisons, like in movies, like they chain a guy's leg to a wall so that he can't run away? That's kind of how your restrictions work. Now, the issue is that most people, they're trying to break this chain. They're trying to like grab it, pull it apart, they'll run as fast as possible, potentially trying to break it. Chains are made of fucking metal. You can't just break it like that. Not even Eddie Hall can break it as far as I know. But wouldn't it be easier if you could just unlock the chain? It's like you have the key in your hand. It's just that you're using the key to smash the chain instead of trying to unlock it and release yourself. Release. Genuinely observe as to why you have these negative thoughts to begin with. And analyze whether if they're actually reasonable or not, because I can assure you that most of the time they are completely unnecessary. And it's just that you have been repeating these stories in the back of your mind so often that your mind just can't function without using them, right? There was a very fun experiment done. I just want to give this fun little fact. They put flies in a jar, right? Like bugs and shit. They put flies in a jar and they just let them sit there, right? The bugs started to lay down their eggs. And at one point they started hatching, right? And baby flies, baby bugs started to come out and they're all living in this jar. Do you know what happened when they opened it? Where they untwisted the tab of the jar? Even though it was open, none of the baby flies flew out. You know, it's the conditioning, it's the mindset. And I don't want to sound silly, right? I don't want to just tell you it's all in the mind, but it really is. For the majority, it's pretty much all in the mind, honestly. You know, once you're able to change the way you think, not stink. Once you're able to change the way you think and the way you look at things, that new perspective can genuinely change you so much. Now, of course, you can't just snap your fingers and magically tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm confident now. But by analyzing those restrictions you have and actually working your way around them, trying to release these thoughts instead of just trying to like, I'm confident now. Then you will achieve your true confidence. Just the general clue of this video, just don't give a fuck what you say. Don't give a fuck about what others have to say as to what you want to do. Because people will talk anyways. Most of these restrictions you have, they caused by what others have to say. And when you stop listening to these negative thoughts, once you have enough stoicism to laugh at these, to literally look at these hate comments with a smile instead of being worried about them, that's what makes all the difference, my friend. But yeah, I hope this video helped you out. If you want to talk to me directly, whilst hanging around an amazing community of like-minded people who all share the same interests, please join the Discord server. It's completely free. I am not asking you to pay me anything. Discord's always been free, so. Plus, I'm already working on something behind the scenes, but that's irrelevant, right? And if you made it to this point of the video, you can comment the word cat if you want to. That's kind of become my thing for this channel, right? I give you a word to comment at the end, so you can comment cat if you want to, but I actually have a secret little task for you. Now, this is just me asking. You obviously don't have to do it. This is just my my little, how do I even say this? My little egotistic mind came with this idea. You want to give me a follow on Instagram? It sounds silly, right? Because I have an Instagram account. I don't use it for this channel. I just upload pictures there. And yeah, if you want to help me bring that account up, I would really appreciate it. It's totally fine if you don't want to, but yeah, I won't waste any of your time. You can click all the links if you want to. You can subscribe if you want to. And yeah, also, I'm gonna show you. Fuck. Oh my god, I just realized, bruh. My cat's not in the room. I just kind of scammed you, but yeah, take care.